News 46 is brought to you in part by
Pawn Corp's international gold buyers are returning to Pahrump. Thanks to your interest and support, we've moved to a bigger location. Bring your unwanted gold, silver, platinum, jewelry, diamonds, fine watches, coin collections, and broken jewelry to the Pahrump Nugget on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, February 27th through the 1st from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have $1 million to spend, and we'll pay you in cash. That's Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, February 27th through the 1st from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. at the Pahrump Nugget. See you there.
News 46 is brought to you by Affiliated Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, specializing in comprehensive accident rehabilitation. Our goal is to create the individual treatment plan that will restore your health and end pain. Come in for your free consultation. Call 775-727-8900. Pahrump's #1 media source for local news, weather, and sports.
The way we did it is we took each one individually because it wasn't something that we could just lump together and say, you know, we don't want to talk about these three.
That was Pahrump Town Board Chairman Mike Darby explaining the process that took place during Tuesday night's town board meeting to drop agenda items 9, 10, and 11. Good evening. It's Thursday, February 24th, 2011. I'm Rick Vale.
And I'm Rhonda Van Winkle for News 46.
Last night we reported on agenda item number 2 of the Pahrump Town Board meeting. Today, News 46 caught up with Town Board Chairperson Mike Darby for an explanation.
Yes, and Mike Darby goes on to explain why agenda item number 9, discussion and possible decision to establish a Pahrump Town ordinance to prohibit housing prisoners arrested and convicted outside of Nye County in a county-owned facility within the town of Pahrump limits was dropped from the agenda.
The sheriff actually supplied all the NRSs and laws that prohibit the town creating such an ordinance, because when, you know, like somebody's being extradited and they actually wind up here to spend the night, we're required by law to house that prisoner overnight or forever. How long? So, I mean, it's actually in the NRSs that ordinance couldn't be created.
Chairman Mike Darby continued on by saying he believes this was created in hopes of keeping Pahrump from becoming a prison town.
Agenda item number 10 was the discussion and possible decision regarding a new town manager contract. Again, Chairman Mike Darby explains why that item was dropped for now.
The way it was written was it was regarding the new town manager contract. In talking with Mr. Culkin, what he wanted to do was he wanted to actually have more public input as to what the general public would like to see in the manager's contract. So it wasn't necessarily this town manager's contract, just a town manager's contract. So what it was suggested is that we pull the item and that he asked to have workshops, and the requirement on that is that just like anything else, it be agendized, be posted 3 days in advance. So I mean, it's really open for him to be able to do that, much like I did on the trash ordinance with PTO 40.
And finally, agenda item number 11 was discussion and possible decision to establish a town board position and action on Groponics.
Mike Darby stated that until Groponics backs out of their contract, there is nothing the town can do because they have a signed contract.
We can't do anything with it. It's up to the county commissioners whether or not they're going to actually do anything with the deeds, whether or not Groponics is going to go through the trouble of trying to get something lifted. So everything on that is totally up in the air.
Mr. Darby continues on, stating that the town is still waiting to hear back from Groponics whether or not they are going to go through with the effort of coming here, or if Mr. Crocione will try to push his way through the county commissioners.
The town of Pahrump is taking the helm when it comes to its future. Town manager Bill Kohlbarger spoke to News 46 about Monday's meeting that could change our town's economy and growth.
To talk about SB 155, which is the BDR that the town board voted on, that Harley Calkin brought forth as a citizen to take over, have the capabilities of taking over planning and zoning from the county and putting it into the hands of the town.
SB Senate bill.
Senate Bill 155, Senator McGinnis sat down, listened to us, and he liked what we did. He liked liked the fact that we had citizen input. He liked the fact that town board voted 5-0 to go forth with this, and so he took it and turned it into SB 155 for us. He took a BDR, got it drafted at our request, and now it's SB 155 that will be heard in front of the Senate Affairs Committee on Government Affairs on Monday at 9 a.m.
What's a BDR?
Bill draft request.
So the RPC here in town is ran by the county and seems to be a hurdle that a lot of businesses have to start up here in town. Will this make it more streamlined?
Well, let's put it this way. The RPC will be history if this bill goes through and the town decides to take it over. There's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts. There's a few hurdles left, but we'll see what happens.
They'll be fighting this, won't they?
The county will probably be fighting us because they don't want to give over control of the planning and zoning. But my thing is, if I was a county member, it's been a headache to them, and they've been blamed for a lot of issues, whether they have or have not done something. Turn it over and see how the town can work with it.
This seems to be becoming a trend with the town wanting to take control of its own town.
Why wouldn't we? It's the right thing to do. I mean, right now you have 5 county commissioners that rule on a lot of issues that go on in Pahrump, except 2 of them live in northern Nye County and really have no ties or beliefs or investment in Pahrump, except for the fact that they take our money and spend it in Gabbs, in Tonopah, in Round Mountain.
Is this going to continue with the town board and town manager kind of looking at issues that maybe we could actually control within our own city limits?
Oh, it comes from the town board, and they're the ones that hear these and create them and bring them and put them on the agenda. So we give guidance when we can, and we listen to the town board, and they're a little bit more aggressive than the past town board, and they seem to be cohesive right now, and they're moving forth.
So you're going to let us know what happens on Monday?
Yeah, we're going to go and testify. We're not traveling up to Carson City because in an attempt to save the town budget $1,500 or more, it's actually going to be video conferenced at the Grant Sawyer Building in Las Vegas, which the legislation has now started to doing, so to save the southern municipalities money to travel up to Carson City, because it can be rather expensive.
All right, coming up after the break, does Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue have over $1 million in profit?
And Valley Electric has an opportunity available for local businesses.
All this and more coming up right after this break. Please keep it here.
News 46 is brought to you by Affiliated Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, specializing in comprehensive accident rehabilitation. Our goal is to create the individual treatment plan that will restore your health and end pain. Come in for your free consultation. Call 775-727-8900.
Welcome back to News 46. According to Town Board Chair Mike Darby, Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue has over $1 million a year profit, even though they have to write off money like any other company quarterly. News 46 met with Administrative Director Tony Glines to clarify the procedures.
We do it quarterly, and basically what it is it's, like you said, uncollectible. These are bad debts, invoices that have gone to collections. We do attempt up to 90 days. Actually, it's 90 plus, so it turns out to be about 110 days that we attempt to collect the debt. We send 3 invoices, then we send a collection attempt, and we make phone calls to the phone numbers that we have on record. At that point, if we still cannot collect the debt, then it goes to a collection agency. Those are considered bad debts because we can no longer collect them in-house. We also have people that have died after an ambulance transfer, and those have no estate. They leave a balance, whether it's their copay or the entire amount. So those 2 are uncollectible. We also have bankruptcies. We have bankruptcies, people that file bankruptcy, and once that's discharged, it's uncollectible. So those entire amounts have to be written off, and of course it has to go to the town board for approval.
And when they go to a collection agency, how long does the collection agency try to collect? Or we write them off once we send them to a collection agency or after the collection agency has failed?
Actually, we write it off once it goes to the collection agency. Now, if the collection agency is successful and they are able to collect a debt, then what happens is they send us the percentage that they pay because they collect a percentage of the amount. They send us a check each month for what they've collected, and what we do is we put that back on the books as a collectible debt, and then we apply the payment to that.
And with the economy the way that it is hard to collect debts. Do you see an increase in uncollectible debts?
Actually, there is a slight increase, not as much as one would expect. We have been having about the same amount, I believe, just about since I started here.
And then, as far as the town, I know that we have an older population. Ambulance services and fire and rescue are very much needed in this town. Once a person has, like, say, they can't pay the bill, what happens after that?
Well, actually what we do is we call these people and we let them know that we will accept payments. There are a lot of senior citizens that are on a fixed income. And we offer them, minimal payments, whatever they can afford each and every month. We don't charge interest nor finance charges. We accept minimal payments from these people. Those that just can't pay and or refuse to pay, whatever the reason, then those obviously have to go to collections.
And do we talk about the indigent services and what happens there?
Yes. Now, there are those people that have no insurance and obviously need our services. And so what they do is they apply to the county for the Indigent Health and Human Services to help them pay. Once they have been accepted by them and Health and Human Services pays us, they pay us at a 40% of the bill. And so thereby what we do is we write that off as a hardship case. We don't go after the patient for the balance. And that's one of the ones that's also written off.
That's some of the monies that we're talking about. This is a normal practice for not only fire and rescue services, but for all businesses.
It definitely is. All businesses have some uncollectibles, and all they can do is send them to collections and or write them off as a bad debt.
News 46 visited with Marketing Director Stacy Binky from Valley Electric Association at last night's chamber mixer. She tells us about an opportunity Valley Electric Association has available to local businesses across their territory, especially in Pahrump.
Being a part of this group means that we are offered several different programs that are available to us. There's youth programs, there's energy efficient programs, there's over actually 30 different programs under the Touchstone Energy umbrella. One of those is the Co-op Connections card. And you might have heard this at other venues as well, but what we're offering is, this is a Touchstone Energy Cooperative card. It's a national card, so any of our members can take this card and go to hotels, they can go to flower shops, they can go anywhere in the United States and use this card at any of the national locations that are part of this organization. But what we like to offer locally here is for any businesses to be a part of this program. All you have to do, there's no cost to you. The only cost to you would be whatever discount you want to offer for your business. So we would do all of the advertising. We would do a spotlight on each of the different businesses in our Rural Light magazine that goes over 17,000 members. So you would get great exposure if you join this program with us. And again, there's no cost to you. We'll do all the advertising, and it's just a great opportunity. I know through the chamber they always say, keep your business in your neighbor's or keep your nose in your neighbor's business, and I think that's a perfect opportunity for you at this point to do that with this card.
Well, last night's Pahrump Chamber Mixer gave Lloyd Platson, president of Nye Community Coalitions, an opportunity to give out awards to businesses that have supported the coalition by placing adolescents into intern positions with their companies, one of which was right here at KPVM-TV.
And again, KPVM Channel 41 has been with us from the very beginning. That's been for 3 years now. And we're very appreciative of the opportunity to have our youth come and gain experience in TV and radio and work with you.
They're actually great. If you get a chance, get with them because they can fill in a lot of holes. So appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for thinking of this. Very
Good.
good.
And likewise, the mixer also gave Ren Van Winkle an opportunity to discuss the recent Valley Focus local TV guide that is now mailed on stands and free to the public.
Our Focus magazine, which used to be a 32-page booklet, due to popularity of mailing, we've reduced the pages into 8 pages. It's now, this next month, it's 10 pages, but the uniqueness of it is it's mailed. Our new digital channels are throughout the community, and because of that, more and more people are asking what's on our channels because they're hooking up and they don't know about the guide that they used to pick up at the local grocery store. So we started mailing out, and we're mailing them out to different areas. We're mailing out 4,500 of them, and we're putting 3,000 in stands, so they have both options still. But what's unique about it is that it does have our complete schedule in it from Ion Media, which is programming such as Criminal Minds, Ghost Whisperer, Without a Trace, many others, Cash Cab. This TV is a complete movie channel, 24/7. It's MGM product, United Artists. Universal Sports Network is all Olympic sports. You probably have heard during the Olympics when they talk about at national or at world competition, these are those competitions. When the Olympics come, we'll have them 24/7. And of course, our newest network, which is MeTV, which is all those original Star Trek programs that you've seen in the past, Cheers, Taxi, that type of programming is on there. We're mailing this out, good place. And the March edition, we have a 5th panel with coupons on there because we have found that people wanted to have more immediate coupon type of call to action. But you can pick these up still in the grocery store, and they are being mailed 4,500 homes.
And of course, what I meant to say is that they're being mailed and on stands.
That's right.
And are free to the public.
That's right, absolutely. Coming up after the break, a little help during tax season.
And part 3 of our 5-part series with Fire Chief Scott Lewis coming up next. Keep it here.
News 46 is brought to you by Affiliated Chiropractic and Physical Therapy, specializing in comprehensive accident rehabilitation. Our goal is to create the individual treatment plan that will restore your health and end pain. Come in for your free consultation. Call 775-727-8900.
This time of year can be confusing when it comes to your taxes, so now we'll go to Jackson Hewitt Tax Service for their weekly tax tip.
Tax Tip of the Week is brought to you by Jackson Hewitt Tax Services.
Hi, it's Kay with this week's Jackson Hewitt Tax Tip. Don't forget when you're filing your return, your last name, your social security number, and your date of birth must all match the records in Social Security and the IRS. If you have been recently married, or if you have even been married 40 years and you have not changed your name with Social Security, you will need to file your tax return with your Social Security name. Thanks again. This is Kay with this week's Jackson Hewitt Tax Tip.
Tax Tip of the Week is brought to you by Jackson Hewitt Tax Services.
And today we continue with part 3 of 5 with Fire Chief Scott Lewis on fire safety as he speaks to News 46's Deanna O'Donnell.
Get dispatched for a report of an electrical fire possibly, and they believe to be extinguished, or they, I'll give you another really good example where a fire alarm goes off and we get a call saying, well, the alarm company is called, we should cancel. Well, number one, we can't cancel because we have to document the response. Number 2 is we get there and there's an overcooking incident that maybe burned up the front of the stove, affected the cabinets above it. It's believed or perceived that the fire is extinguished, but we investigate fire that find out that there's actually hot embers up there still. That left unattended could lead to a subsequent structure fire.
We have the incident where mesquite trees tend to reignite, and people think that they put it out, and they have a tendency to reignite as well.
Absolutely, along the root line, under the soil, we have a number of different issues. Those fires have a tendency to migrate under what we call DUF, D-U-F-F, which is the top layers of material that accumulate over years. And it can migrate underneath there and pop up in a different area, especially on windy days like we've experienced the last 2 or 3 days.
What should a person do when they think somebody's inside the house?
It's a case-by-case basis because I understand the intent, and people have good intentions in those cases, and that is to rescue and remove someone from harm. And we truly appreciate that. There has to be a systematic method in using that, though. If you were just to start breaking out every window, what happens is, we talked about a little earlier, we can actually grow the size of the fire. And it can actually make it more dangerous to the occupants if there are any in there. And as you mentioned, there's been a number of cases where we're getting reports of unknown occupancy. So their vehicle may be in the driveway, so there's an automatic assumption that the people are in there. And I can tell you, we've gone at great risk searching those properties inside and found that they were not at home. So we need to try and determine, to the best of our abilities, the occupancy, whether it is occupied at the time or not, and whether or not, or how many people, and what is their known locations. What is the probability that they're in a specific area, because that's where we want to focus our attention. But the house numbers are so important. Large, bold letters on the street and on the house. If the possibility of illuminating, better yet. But it's extremely important because there's so many different structures that the buildings are at the back of the property, behind tree lines, and you just can't see the house numbers, and a lot of times they're not listed on the mailboxes.
Let's talk about smoke inside the homes. That seems to be the number one problem.
Smoke is the primary killer. And the reason is because even in a fire in its early stages, which is called an incipient fire, creates the byproducts of that fire is what can affect people immediately. It has a number of carcinogens, cyanide, all those different things that get into your system that can cause a very quick death. And so those are the issues that if the smoke detectors are going off, you have very little time to get people out of the house.
Interesting.
Yes.
Very, very interesting. I never thought of the address numbers being large enough. I mean,
Well, yeah.
It's not something the everyday person probably thinks
Oh,
about.
no, not even close. And like I was just saying while we were watching the stories, I have to fix mine. My mailbox numbers are all peeling off. It looks, the weather out
I'm
here
going
is-
to have to check. I never thought, well, of course, the house is up here at KPVM, but I have one in town, too.
Yeah, no, the weather out here is so harsh on anything stickery, so you really want something like metal, like a plate or something, because mine were stickers, and they're just like shriveled up and peeled off, so, what are you going to do?
Right, and no matter how panicked you are, don't start breaking windows.
Yeah.
Call 911, and they have a really quick response time. in
Oh,
Pahrump.
very quick. Come on, this is Pahrump. It's, they're close to everybody in
There you go.
You remember your exercise from yesterday?
Yes.
All right, well, where's a new exercise for you? It's a little bit something like this. Now, the people from up north know exactly what this means.
Oh.
We might see some snow this weekend.
Really?
Don't go anywhere. We got your 7-day forecast right after the break.
News 46 weather is brought to you by your local dairy farmers. Dairy products are very important in maintaining a healthy body. For more information, you can visit their website at nevadadairycouncil.org.
Welcome back to News 46. I'm Rick Vale with your weather. Now, we've got a high wind warning in effect. It will remain in effect until 10 p.m. Friday evening. Winds are going to be coming out of the southwest from 20 to 30 miles per hour with gusts in excess of 50 miles per hour. It's very dangerous for high-profile vehicles. Anything you've got lying around your lawn, you're going to want to get it picked up. That's lawn furniture, chairs, tables, anything out there that can get blown away. Gusts of 50 miles per hour can take almost anything. Strongest winds will be between 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. on Friday. Now, moving on to today, we got a partly cloudy day with a high 61 degrees. Now, winds are coming out of the south-southwest at 6 miles per hour. But we got gusts upwards of 18 miles per hour. Our pressure leveling off at about 30.04. Sunrise was at 6:21 a.m. and our record high was 80 degrees back in 1989. Now looking at tonight, it's going to be partly cloudy as well, a low of 38 degrees. Winds out of the south-southwest up to 11 miles per hour, but most of the night probably around 6. Sunset will be at 5:34 p.m. and our record low was 21 degrees back in 1967. Now, moving on to our 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, looking pretty wet. We got a 60% chance of rain out there. Winds, very windy. Gusts up to 29 miles per hour. 62 for our high, 40 degrees for our low. Now, it's 60% during the day, and actually 60% at night. During the day tomorrow, probably around 30% chance of rain. Saturday, 60% chance of rain all day long, trickling down to about a 30% chance of rain Saturday night. Now, if it does rain Saturday night, we're expecting snowfall. We are going to expect anywhere up to an inch of snowfall if it actually does come down on us Saturday night. We're going to have gusts up to 27 miles per hour with a high of 52 and a low of 32. Sunday, the clouds will part mostly, and we got about a 10% chance of rain with a high of 50 and a low of 31. Monday, moving into next week, still looking pretty good. We got partly cloudy skies, and we're looking at 55 for our high with 34 for our low. Now Tuesday, clear skies expected, a high of 61 and a low of 39. While Wednesday, the partly cloudy skies will come back into play with gusts up to 20 miles per hour, still pretty breezy out there, with a high of 64 and a low of 43. And finishing off our 7-day forecast, look at that, 70-degree weather for us next Thursday with a low of 44.
Great. Well, thank you.
It's my job. That's what I do. So yeah, be very careful. If it does snow, you know how that gets. And then we'll have to get right back into that conversation about icy roads and accidents, and I just don't want to have to do that.
No, don't want to have to do that. Well, Pahrump Valley Speedway will be holding their races planned on Saturday at 1 p.m. For more information, please go to PaHrumpValleySpeedway.com.
That's right, and if you've missed any part of this broadcast, you can watch it all again on our website at KPVM.TV. You can also catch all of your favorite local TV shows right there on the What's On segment portion of our website. And that being said, that's going to do it for this edition of News 46. I'm Rick Vale.
And I'm Rhonda Van Winkle.
From everyone up here on the Hill at KPVM, we wish you a safe evening, and we'll see you here again tomorrow night. Until then, good night, Pahrump.
Good night.